right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Nice looking but cool Friday morning. So we're not going to complain. Hey, it's Friday. We're just happy with that fact. Jim George is in the studio. Maybe you want to spend your weekend just kind of hanging around, watching your TV, or maybe you got a new one for the holidays, and you're still kind of, it's still a novelty for you. That's the funny thing about new technology is it's a novelty at first, and then it becomes just like, it's just a matter of fact, right? We take things for granted, and we do that with everything. Jim George is here, of course, and he's here to answer your questions about technology. He is the owner of American Cable Services, so he's got lots of expertise, not just in cable, but everything pretty much associated with it, which is why he does the show. The number to call if you have a question about technology in general is 622-WOCA. That is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you. And with any new technology, you really never understand it. By the time you're ready to sell it, you're still only probably using 50% of its capabilities.
Good point. Yeah, I don't even know. We have audio software.
Yes.
There's so many things on there you could do with it. I don't use most of it,
Right. I mean, it's like buying a photo cropping software because all you want to do is maybe take a picture and bring it in. All right, and that's all you ever do with it.
Right.
And yet people tell you can, make postcards with them. You can do this and do that, and you never utilize it for. So a person spends years developing something, and you use 1% of it.
Yeah,
it's.
And that's probably only true with new technology, because the old technology, for example, a bicycle, there wasn't too much I didn't know how to use.
Yeah.
I knew how to ring the bell.
Yep.
I knew how to push the pedals.
Right. Change gears on the newer ones.
Oh yeah. Well, that sometimes was a trick. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a multi-speed bicycle, right?
I do. Yes.
So what is it? 15 speed or 12 speed or 9 speed?
You know, Robin? I don't even know.
It's an 8-speed.
8. Okay.
8 speed. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, my daughter has one. I think it went to
Rusty.
15 different gears, and I said,
"Wow,
how many gears have you used so far? 3."
Well, when we would see, here's the thing I'm ashamed to say, we don't really ride them much anymore. So you're making me want to go back and be a good boy about this whole thing. but anyway, the one thing I discovered about that is you never go as low as 1, because it's like you'd have to be on a hill.
Yeah.
That was so like a mountain. I can't even imagine using that gear.
Yeah, walk it up. Get off of it and walk it up.
And the higher gear, you'd have to be going like 100 miles an hour to justify that gear. So exactly. I think we would go from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
And that would be, we wouldn't use much more than 3 and 5.
No.
So
right.
But, we're not professionals or anything.
Right. And that's the same with the TV. I mean, and I know we're speaking about TV now. We'll speak about other things. But if you go to the sound part, you go menu, sound, and then you look at it, it says surround sound. It says 110-degree sound. It says Dolby sound. And you can choose all these sounds. And when you do, then you hear immediately the difference in the different sounds.
Well, see, it's like this thing right here, that I'm using for the video for you.
Yeah.
If I push a button, I could put a cowboy hat on you. Let's see if it shows up on
still.
you.
All right.
Yeah. I think maybe it'll show up on Robin. Let me get the camera off of Robin. I'll just put it on you. See if we can get a cowboy hat on Jim's head here in the video. In fact, the rest of the show, I think I'll just put sunglasses and maybe an afro.
Right.
It's just kind of goof with you a little bit. So,
well, an afro would be nice. Considering a bald.
Do you know, yesterday on the Veterans Show, Hank had invited the wrestler
Dory Funk.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Dory Funk, and he was wearing a big cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And he had to take his hat off to put his headphones on. And I was thinking, you should put the hat over the headphones and keep that look going. It's a trademark look, right?
He said that his dad wrestled George, so he wrestled your dad.
No, he's a legend. Dory Funk is a legend.
So he wrestled your dad?
Years ago. It was a long time ago.
You should wrestle him.
No.
Just arm wrestle. Just do an arm wrestle.
Yeah.
No. He had big arms. He was still fit.
He's good for his age, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
And he's a technology guy too. He's got like a production company or something in town.
He does. We've approached him about maybe starting a Dory Funk channel, because since he trains wrestlers and has his own ring where they do exhibitions, maybe create a channel of all the old wrestling matches, because he can get them in archives. Have an old wrestling channel, but. He wasn't really interested. He does a lot of charitable work. He travels back and forth to Japan.
Oh yeah, Well, last year, I guess it was. He is the reason that
Dave
Schlenker won the Kiss the Horse, because Dave wrestled him as an exhibition thing, and it raised a lot of money for the Kiss the Horse thing. So for the Livers Council.
Well, next year you can wrestle him.
Yeah,
we'll tag team.
But the problem is I'm rather large, and I would probably lose, and then it would be very embarrassing.
Oh, I see.
I don't know how you win or lose in wrestling anyway.
He's got to get the guy on his back for the count of 3.
Is that it? That's all you got to do?
Yep.
Oh, I could do that.
Get him on his back for the count of 3.
Oh, I could do that. No, I better not say.
Sit on him.
I better not say anything.
Well, that's what's great about you getting all these channels together, because you have that super a la carte feature. And if people want wrestling, they can go to you for it, and they know that you'll provide the most quality wrestling channels and not just some dive.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you saw or not, but the Worldwide Wrestling Association, that's the one that McMahon is out of Tampa has, he's pulling off of DirecTV and pulling off of Dish and a few other ones. He's going to start streaming his own TV channel.
Wow.
WWE or WWF, I think it's E, and they're going to have their own wrestling channel on the internet.
So that's really cool. So chances are you'll probably be able to pick that up from your service.
Yeah, we'll stream it to us and then stream it out to whoever wants it. So if a person doesn't want to use their internet to go find it, they just change the channel, and there it would be.
So let me ask you something about advertising. We had this story the other day about the future of advertising and how technology, and I think we've discussed this on your show too, about how the Googles and the YouTubes and the big guys now, they know what we're interested in,
right.
So they send us ads based on that, right?
Right.
Okay, so if people can, let's see, if they have technology right now so that we don't watch our ads, then there's an advertiser spending a fortune to get our attention, and we're zooming past it, or we have technology that erases it. We never even see them.
Right. Or let's say the Food Channel advertises car sales. And so, maybe 90% of the people that watch the Food Channel might be women, and it's proven that women are the ones that actually buy the cars. I mean, they're the ones that determine what color the car is, what kind of seats a car is going to have. It's only like 20 or 30% of us men who stand up and say, I want my car. But, but they do that on purpose because they know the eyeballs that are going to be watching it. So those demographics are free out there. I mean, you can type in, you can find out how many Norwegians live in Ocala.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you can get the demographics. It's all online.
How many Norwegians do live in Ocala?
2. Icelandics is 1.
Did you really look that up?
This was like 5 years ago. Yeah, we did, because we wanted to see the demographics, and should we carry a Norwegian channel? Of course, we were thinking about then.
For those 2 people.
Just being in Ocala.
Yeah.
But now, of course, you carry the Norwegian channel. There is a community in Boca Raton that has 5,000 Icelandics living there.
Okay, but here's the problem with that information. Let's say you say, okay, we're not going to carry a Norwegian channel because there's only 2. Well, I'm not Norwegian. I might like whatever's on it. I don't know.
Yeah. But there again, if you understand the language, because we're not going to be, it's going to be from Norway. In other words, it will be in their language. The Russian channel will be in Russian.
Oh, okay.
Fascinating.
All right.
Now you may be able to have subtitles. Some channels will, supply the technology so the TV can put in the different language.
All right, so this is kind of. The question that will reveal something about me, because I don't know much about TV. Do we still have a thing called pay-per-view?
There is pay-per-view, yes. It's usually an event like a wrestling match or a concert or those type of things, but they're few and far between. No one made any money in pay-per-view. Even video on demand doesn't make any money. And the cable companies are all about making money. Regardless of what you think about, they're offering a service and they want to deliver to your home education. It's all about making money. If there's a channel that, for instance, Cablevision in New York took the Hallmark channel off.
Oh.
Because they said people were not watching they actually turned it off for like 24 hours. No one called in.
Oh, really?
So they put it back on, and like a week later, they turned it off for a week. No one. They said, well, if the demographics are such that no one watching it, why should we pay the 14 cents for the Hallmark channel if no one's going to watch it? Because spectrum is precious to them. They could put another channel there that might. So if no one's going to watch these things, they're going to take them off.
And you have a phone, Jim. A phone call. Let me go to the phone. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on there with Jim George.
Hey, good morning. We're DirecTV customers now, and they recently, what you were just saying about no watching, but recently they just lost their contract with the Weather Channel for some reason. I don't know, contract negotiations, whatnot.
Right.
But that was interesting. But with your cable program, can you pick and choose what channels you want, like a la carte?
Yes, it'd be a la carte.
Okay, so you can get the Weather Channel, you can get WGN out of Chicago, so we can spy on the Bears.
Correct. Correct.
All right, this is cool. All right, and then like we can get this the local news channels here in out of Orlando. I mean, that's our
yes.
locals we get.
Yeah, you get the Orlando, the Ocala, and Gainesville channels.
Oh, cool. And what is the service? What's the name of it?
It's going to be called Media in Motion.
Oh. So you can basically pick and choose, like if you want ESPN, but you don't want all the other ESPN channels, or...
Well, ESPN's a weird one. It comes bundled, so you'll get ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Classics, ESPN University, USA, Disney, and ABC, because they come bundled, and they won't allow us to break them. But if you wanted the American Family Channel, yes, individual. WGN, individual. WOR, individual. WOCA, individual.
Yeah, but there's a lot of channels, like with DirecTV, you get, 200 and some channels, and half of them you don't even watch, but you end up paying for your choice package, and the rate gets so sky high,
Right, and the way they work is unique also. What they do is they may give you 110 channels or 150 channels for your price. Let's say it's $89 or whatever it is. But then if you want one channel, you have to buy another whole tier just to get that one channel.
Just to get WGN, you got to go into that next tier.
Exactly.
To get the Weather Channel or History Channel or Discovery, Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's kind of cool. We'll have to call and talk to you because it sounds pretty enticing, Yeah,
we keep delaying it because we keep adding not channels but more features to it, and every time we do it causes the software to change, and then we have to make a software correction. So we prophesied that we'd launch in August of last year, and then maybe November, and then we said for sure January. Now it's more like March. So and then if you talk to some of my partners, they say, well, maybe it's going to be June. But we have 36 channels up and running. We're just trying to make sure we finish and get about 80 before we actually pull the trigger.
Okay, but you're not going to have the Sunday ticket, right?
NFL ticket, we may or we may not. It really depends on negotiations because that is not a service that they allow to stream right now. In other words, DirecTV.
No, they don't let anybody have it.
Yeah,
DirecTV has like a monopoly on it.
They do, and they pay a fortune for it. They pay like $3 billion a year or something.
God.
Yeah, they need to get that. Let everybody have that. Yeah.
That's their claim to fame.
Okay, that's why they have so many subscribers, but people don't know. But, a lot of people don't know that you can just take the basic DirecTV. I mean, you can make your DirecTV go to sleep during the off-season, and you can go with any provider you want. And then during the on-season, just take the basic and have the NFL packet.
Yes.
So, I mean, you can have both, the best of both worlds. You can still have the NFL packet and then go ahead and go with the provider you want to. So, okay, that sounds cool. So we'll keep listening.
All right, thank you.
We'll have a talk. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye now.
When you have individual channels like that, say you do have a Russian channel and a business wants to buy advertising on that channel, do they come to you and tell you what channel they want to advertise on?
They would actually contact the Russian channel and say, we want to advertise on your channel, because they realize that they may have a product for the Russians.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
You have another phone call. By the way, if you heard Robin and I giggling, we weren't being rude. Just that I've been playing with the technology, and I've been putting faces. I put pink hair on you and sunglasses. All right, let's go back to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Good morning, Mr. George. Sonny calling.
Yes.
With this technology that we have, not just with the video television, but our computer technologies, and you hear the cloud storage and all this stuff. I'm just wondering, with this kind of a setup and the way the programming is, if there was ever an EMT attack, wouldn't that wipe all that out so that even if there was a way of, eventually everything would be restored after an attack like that? But, we're not talking about the actual disruption, but would you be able to retrieve a lot of this stuff if it were lost either through some kind of an EMT attack or just an out-and-out power, national grid shutdown or whatever? And just was curious about how all that works and how all that would also affect your your TV, television delivery and reception. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's something we always wonder about. And not just attacks, but also natural things like solar flares, right?
Right. Well, it really depends where the technology is stored. It may be deliverable and stored on the cloud, but is it in a hardened facility? Like in, let's say, Stone Mountain, Georgia, inside of a cave?
Yeah.
Or is it, put into the 33rd floor of the Tampa Bay building or something where it's all glass walls? And,
yeah, right.
It really depends where it's stored. And it really depends how large the attack is. What I mean by that is the cloud is so huge, it covers the entire world, that if there was an attack, let's say, in California, but the cloud did not affect New York, New York would just restore California like in 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, really?
The servers would. Now, if it fried the electronics, then the electronics would have to be, replaced.
Right. Yes. Well, what was the thing I used to pay for? The lock thing where you would upload it.
Carbonite.
Carbonite, yeah. I used to ask the same question. How do I know that those guys aren't going to lose my stuff? And then it was answered that they've got an office in Detroit, an office in New York, and
right.
or not an office, but a setup or whatever. So.
Yes. And that's what happens if they were to go down in New York. The California office would send you the information. And those are basically things that people like to call edge servers. So you have a network operations center, and then if you have a lot of traffic, and let's say that network operations center is in Ocala, but you have a lot of traffic coming to you from New York,
right.
Then you would put a server on the edge, which means you'd carry it out to New York. And now the traffic in New York just went to it, and then it talked to Ocala.
The irony here is that a bomb would be less harmful than a virus. A virus could actually do more harm than a bomb.
Yes.
Because a virus could literally wipe it all out, couldn't it?
It could.
Yeah. And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Yes. Good morning, George. Mr. George. I have several radios at home, and they're all set on FM, and they're all set on WOCA. The one that I have in my garage, which is a Victor Research machine, a radio, very nice radio, I have trouble getting reception on FM. Do they sell like antennas for that, or can I rig up something with a wire and like run it up to the attic or whatever?
They do sell antennas, but basically you could go to Radio Shack and get some 300 ohm wire. That's the old flat lead that you used to have in the old TV days. And then as long as all 3 leads were the same length, then you would make a dipole antenna. So if you wanted to go up your attic, you could do like 6 foot and then tie the 2 wires together and then go 6 foot. In other words, make a T, each lead being 6 foot. Or 8 foot or 10 foot. It really depends how far it is from your radio up to the point where you're making your T. So if it took you 18 feet to get up to where you wanted to be, then the other 2 links would be 18 feet. And what that would do is that would increase your signal exponentially. We would say 3 dB, but 3 dB is actually doubling the signal.
Wow. At the end of the wire, what would I attach to like a pipe or something? Or
no, you just let it radiate.
Okay, you mean just leave it lay on the floor?
Well, you can leave it lay on the floor, but you really want some height out of it. So if you're saying the attic, then yes, you could let it lay on the floor of the attic, or you could just take some safety pins and push it up. Because flat lead's got 2 wires that are separated by about a good ½ inch of plastic, and you just put your pin into the plastic part. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't use radio. Now zip cord won't work. It's got to be a 300 ohm wire. Radio Shack sells it very cheap. If you can get a 50-foot roll for probably $6 or $7.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Your service, you have to register with the Federal Communications Commission, and then in turn, are you registered vicariously through the national security of the United States?
No, cable TV was deregulated years ago. Congress deregulated it, and in other words, the FCC used to make us do a lot of stuff, and cable TV was deregulated. Now, there's still a few things we have to do, like we can't radiate our signal in the air because it would cause planes to go off course and things like that. But as long as we fall within the parameters of Part 76 of the FCC form and Part 46, we're fine.
Oh, okay.
It looks like I have another phone call coming in, Jim. Let's go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Good morning. This is Sonny again. I also found that you could improve some of the reception, even on the AM radio, by taking a wire and, well, this is going back way many years when you had iron pipe in your house and radiators. Then you put that ground to the radiator, and you actually improved your AM reception also. And wouldn't that hold true with an FM radio? Although you could be jeopardizing the radio from a lightning strike here in Florida. But I was just curious about that also. And it's pretty interesting stuff when you think about it. Years ago, you used to be able to buy a kit with a couple of diodes in it, and it would made a radio. You had to have earphones or be very close to it to listen to it, and it would just pick up whatever was nearby. But anyway, I was curious about that grounding. I know it used to work, but have a good day.
Thank you. Well, it really depends how old the house is. Some of the older houses had copper pipe under the ground. Right. They have since learned that you do not want to bury copper pipe for water. So in your house, you may have some copper piping, but most of the new houses are all PVC. So if you even attach to the metal faucet, let's say, it's turning to PVC after that, so you're not going anywhere. If you're building a new house, just put some wire behind the wall, for that situation. But anything that extends the length of the antenna is good. Anything that extends the length of it.
I've often thought of just putting up an old or maybe a new TV antenna, because a TV antenna used to work as an FM antenna.
It does.
I wonder if that's even more powerful than the what do you call it? What do you call it? Not diabolic. What's the word you said?
It's a dipole.
Dipole.
All right. It's just three wires made into a T.
Yeah, I remember I had one when I was a kid. Yeah. It was. I guess I bought it already made like that.
And you could buy dipoles. Oh, yeah, you could buy them. But I
like your idea. So would the longer the three wires be, the better?
No,
okay.
not really. No, it's there's a point of no return, but if the distance from your radio, let's say, to the attic or to the ceiling, let's say it's in the garage, is 8 feet, then go 8 feet up, and then 2 8-foot links going from that to form a T.
Yeah.
And the T should be pretty well one horizontal lead and then one perpendicular lead. Don't make them like in circles or roll them up.
Right.
It's not the length of wire that's in a circle. That's
so the perpendicular one is 8 feet, let's say, and the 2 8-foot ones are connected together, so that's only like 16 feet.
Yes, be 16 feet from end to end, but 8 foot to the center.
Gotcha. And you just attach the two wires to the two wires.
You keep them, but you don't let them touch. So in other words,
you don't let them touch.
It's like a railroad track. Just imagine a railroad track. So these two ends, for those who can't see it.
Right.
Let's say one is, and normally the way it is one has got a tint to it. So one might be copper tinted and one might be aluminum tinted.
So
you can know, keep the copper to the copper, the aluminum to the aluminum, but so on and so on.
Oh, okay. But you don't. You strip the plastic off of it and then connect the wire to wire, right? Okay. Oh, I didn't realize it was two.
Yeah, FM has two screws. AM has one. So on the back of your radio, if you have an old radio like a tube one, you'll see there's 3 screws back there, and what will be is the FM goes under 2 of them. The 2 screws, but the AM just has 1 lead.
See, we work in radio, but we don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
exactly. We're on your radio, but we don't know how it works.
Will we be able to get radio as one of the a la carte options just the audio part of the different?
Right now, we're offering 60 channels of audio, which is the just like you see on DirecTV, where there's the jazz and there's the contemporary, and we'll offer those same channels. But as far as radio stations, right now the only radio station we've been contacting with is your own.
Oh, okay.
We are exclusive
so far.
Yes.
And we're almost out of time. But Doug, you have a question for Jim?
I guess I do. Let's say I have a small radio out on the porch or area with a table, and it has an antenna to it. Let's say, can you get another wire, an old one, and just like twist it with that one, and to make another antenna out of that?
If you have a small radio and it has one of those little small antennas that kind of raise up,
Yeah.
and it's telescopic, maybe it goes 1 foot or 2 foot, it's a small one. The best way to do it is make an aluminum foil flag. So on the antenna that's raising up, just put an aluminum foil flag. So if it's 10 inches, just get a strip that's 10 inches by 10 inches.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. You're set.
You'll be able to hear us way better than you do now.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you disagree, you can yell louder.
That's what I really want to know, because a long time ago,
Whoops.
sorry about that. I had a station a long time ago in Rainbow Lakes, and I used to broadcast like about 4.5 miles.
Yes.
And so I thought I could when I did that, and everybody could hear me.
Well, transmitting is a lot different from receiving. Transmitting is by height. Receiving is by, amplification, amplifying the signal coming into you.
All right, Jim, always fascinating chatting with you. You are, of course, American Cable Services. So where would we call? We got a 3 or 4 month wait for the a la carte.
Yes.
But where would we call to get that set up?
854-9795.
By the way, you look pretty good in a pink wig.
I
and
saw that.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, you're styling.
Just playing with that technology to do that just might have given you a viral video, I think. I think we might get more views just because of that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, so if you're watching all around the world, Jim George on YouTube or whatever, remember, he is here in Ocala, Florida, over at American Cable Services. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
We'll take a little
Warm
break.
weekend, I hope.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it'd be cool. We'll be right back.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!